How could it not? I'm reading in these papers, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they've split, they're taking time apart. They've been humiliated and broken by their failures. And, the story was everywhere. It was in the US, it was in Britain, it was here, it was in India, it was Pakistan. I mean, everywhere.
To have Radar Online come on the scene and say that they are taking a trial separation, it just seems that like there are too many separate outlets coming out and saying very similar stories.
Meghan, you might have heard lots of rumours swirling about the couple, especially over the weekend, that their relationship is on the rocks. It's been suggested the couple are taking some time apart.
They went over to America. They were going to be a power couple. They were going to be the next Michelle and Barack Obama, or the next George and Amal Clooney, and that has not worked out for them.
Sussex are reportedly on a trial separation after months of fighting. Sources close to the pair say the time apart is in the hope of rebuilding their bond after recent humiliation and deals falling through with Spotify.
So what Radar is saying is that they are taking a temporary time apart just so that Harry can try to find... Harry does not like the chaos of Los Angeles. Harry does not like the pursuits of Hollywood.
Some other famous people in the USA, Meghan Markle and, of course, her husband, the Ginger. What do you make of reports in Vanity Fair that Meghan's PR team have reportedly spruiked a potential book about her life post-divorce from Prince Harry, which is a bit awkward since the couple haven't even split up?
And so they're very much looking at separate professional lives. There's some commentary around the fact that there may be some upset in their marriage as well. But at this stage, it's just looking like they are very much following different paths. Meghan, of course, is involved with American Riviera Orchard, her jams and preserves and dog biscuits, and of course the cooking show that's going to accompany that. Harry's moving back to the things that really meant a lot to him in the past.
Is Meghan Markle quietly orchestrating her exit? Not just from the royal family, but from Harry himself? With their joint brand reportedly collapsing and public appearances growing colder by the day, whispers are becoming headlines. In a recent poll, over 60% of Brits said they believe Meghan and Harry won't last another 5 years. And if recent moves are any clue, Meghan may be preparing to write a solo story.
The last time they'll all step out together as senior royals before Meghan and Harry officially transition to a normal life on March 31st.
One without Harry in the next chapter. Buckingham Palace recently delivered a subtle yet deeply personal blow. Prince Harry has been erased from key royal web pages. To outsiders, it seemed merely administrative, but palace insiders say it was far more personal. The monarchy's final message that Harry's bridges back to royal life have been burned beyond repair.
It's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK.
He's just a spoilt brat, isn't he? And he says, that's just absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I mean, the man is losing his mind, if you ask me.
Insiders note this move was deliberate, coordinated, and intended to leave no ambiguity about his place in the monarchy moving forward. It's a clear signal that his relationship with his family and royal duties has reached a breaking point, an exile both public and symbolic. Even more telling has been Meghan Markle's reaction, or lack thereof. Her complete silence amid Harry's mounting controversies is conspicuous.
Separation at this superficial type level, I suppose, does that help the substantive credibility issues?
Well, I think it can't hurt in a way, Caro, because brand Sussex as a going concern together clearly is in its death throes.
Following the explosive revelations in Harry's memoir, Spare, Markle hasn't publicly supported or addressed the fallout. It's as though she's consciously separating her own narrative from Harry's tumultuous family dramas. Her silence speaks volumes, suggesting strategic distancing designed to protect her own future interests and maintain her carefully curated public image. If there was ever a time for Meghan to stand beside her husband publicly, this was it. And yet, she chose absence over affirmation. Yet silence is only one part of Meghan's new playbook. Recently, Markle's been increasingly visible, but without Harry.
So many times how Harry is so much better on his own, and the evidence appears to keep adding up. Louise, is there more than just a professional separation?
Well, it does make me wonder because all signs point to some issues behind the scenes. I mean, professionally, they've had to separate. Their brand was toxic.
She's confidently stepping into the spotlight alone, attending high-profile events and making bold public appearances. Each outing, carefully curated, emphasizes her independence and distances her from past royal dramas. Publicly, Meghan avoids mentioning Harry or royal controversies entirely, shaping a narrative focused solely on her new ambitions. Whether attending charity events or elite Hollywood gatherings, her solo appearances send a clear message. She is carving her own path, separate from the baggage of her royal connections.
And I won't want that for Lilibet and Archie either, but moreover to that, I really find that I'm seeing Harry and Meghan much happier professionally working as a separate entity. Look, the beautiful pictures of Harry in Vancouver, the big smile, he's so engaged, and Arthur Edwards, of course, who's followed him around the world as a Sun Royal photographer, made the point that he was really seeing the Harry of old.
She's also launched American Riviera Orchard, a lifestyle brand that appears to be the spiritual successor to her old blog, The Tig. Trademark applications filed under her name suggest an empire in the making. Cookbooks, homeware, cosmetics, even wellness products. Each of these trademarks conspicuously omits the Sussex brand, firmly planting Meghan's flag in her own territory. It's a calculated move, positioning her for long-term success regardless of her marital status.
Well, by all accounts, the third series of As Ever with Love Meghan is being commissioned. Ted Sanderos, the big cheese at Netflix, says that Meghan's a bit of a rock star, and he wants to continue his financial arrangement with her. But I think Harry, though, is he's being sidelined out of it, because if he's not going to do a royal documentary, presumably like the first one, then it may not. There's no traction, and certainly his polo documentary was the dampest of damp squibs in terms of its reception.
This solo momentum isn't accidental. Insiders close to the Sussexes say their professional paths are diverging rapidly. The once united Sussex brand is now seen as toxic, forcing Meghan and Harry to pursue distinctly separate projects. Meghan's team has reportedly been busy securing new podcast deals, lucrative brand partnerships, and high-profile documentary opportunities, without Harry's involvement. Even Netflix insiders hint they're favoring Meghan for future projects, sensing that her appeal might eclipse Harry's increasingly tarnished public image. Executives at top platforms are already viewing Meghan as the more marketable and stable partner, betting heavily on her solo ventures. Her podcast team is reportedly in talks with multiple streaming services, including Amazon and iHeartMedia. She's also been speaking with elite talent agencies like WME and UTA, seeking to relaunch herself not only as a producer, but perhaps even a performer.
And it's been wonderful to see that. So,
and I feel like we have said that a number of times over the year, where we have seen him at various things on his own, and he just seems to be, a bit lighter and like he's having a bit more fun. It looks like too that this professional separation is creeping into Christmas plans.
That's right. So Harry is one of the things he absolutely loves is Scotty's Little Soldiers. It's a charity for children who have lost their parents through warfare.
One insider claims she's even floated the idea of returning to acting or producing a scripted series loosely based on her own life. To many observers, this is not reinvention, it's reclamation. But is this professional separation bleeding into their personal lives too? Tabloid reports suggest their marriage is under severe strain. Sources allege Meghan is exhausted by Harry's persistent fixation on royal grievances and the ongoing backlash it brings. Rumors intensified after Markle was repeatedly photographed without her wedding ring, an understated yet provocative statement.
On the top is this allegation that Meghan was shopping around a post-divorce book while she was still married. And I assume, unbeknownst to Harry, that he will apparently end up on the scrap heap once it's time to pull the trigger on this particular project.
Fueling speculation that their marriage might be on thin ice. Body language experts point to a noticeable shift in their public interactions, observing a growing emotional distance between them. Their once cohesive interviews and public statements now seem fragmented, inconsistent. Two solo acts rather than a duet. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle appears to be quietly crafting her Hollywood comeback.
I'm not praying for a divorce. I mean, that is really cynical.
Well, it is the talk. In here, like in Los Angeles, the talk is that Netflix are staying cozy with Meghan in case things go south.
She's strategically reconnecting with key figures in entertainment and politics, even launching a fresh Instagram account and registering trademarks that notably exclude Harry and the Sussex brand. Her team, now packed with advisors and publicists solely dedicated to Meghan, is busy plotting a relaunch designed to position her as an independent powerhouse.
I'm thrilled, as you are, I'm sure, that Netflix has renewed Harry and Meghan's deal.
Well, supposedly, but it's maybe just a Meghan deal.
Oh, a Meghan deal. Well, that makes it much better not.
Industry sources reveal she's been involved in high-stakes meetings about potential acting roles, fashion collaborations, and even ventures into politics, indicating that her ambitions have significantly evolved since her departure from royal life. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper that Meghan has reached out to political fundraisers and think tanks in California and Washington, D.C., possibly gauging public reaction to a future political move.
Members of my family will never forgive me for writing a book. Of course, they will never forgive me for lots of things.
While nothing is confirmed, the scale of her networking suggests long-term planning. Meghan's transition from duchess to influencer to possible political contender may seem far-fetched, but so did her initial leap into royalty. In stark contrast, Harry seems increasingly isolated. His public appearances have become sparse, portraying him as distant and subdued, a far cry from the vibrant prince once celebrated globally.
And so they're very much looking at separate professional lives. There's some commentary around the fact that there may be some upset in their marriage as well. But at this stage, it's just looking like they are very much following different paths. Meghan, of course, is involved with American Riviera Orchard.
Sources close to the couple claim Harry struggles privately, feeling out of place and disconnected even in his Californian sanctuary. Quiet attempts at reconciliation with his family reportedly fell flat, deepening his emotional solitude. Friends close to Harry have expressed concern about his mental state, suggesting he feels trapped between worlds, neither fully embraced by America nor able to return home to Britain.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard. You're complaining about your hard life and you're so privileged. It's just so weird. It's ridiculous.
His recent projects, like the Invictus Games, still garner attention, but even they now feel overshadowed by Meghan's escalating media dominance. Royal commentators note a growing narrative that paints Harry as lost in Meghan's shadow, a man struggling to find his place after stepping away from everything that once defined him. Public sympathy for Harry has begun to erode, replaced by skepticism and fatigue.
If Harry and Meghan ever get divorced, it would make for an absolute ratings bonanza. Kinsey, surely not. Surely these TV executives are not praying for a divorce. I mean, that is really cynical.
The financial foundations beneath Harry and Meghan's empire also appear increasingly unstable. Once powerful deals with Spotify and Netflix have faltered. Spotify notoriously canceled Archetypes, allegedly dissatisfied with the effort and results, even labeling the Sussexes grifters behind closed doors. Their Netflix arrangement is reportedly teetering on uncertainty too, with executives questioning the couple's ongoing market appeal.
All the commercial deals, and of course that hasn't actually happened. It's been quite the opposite. So they have to try a different tact, and possibly going their separate ways in a professional sense is the best way to do this.
High costs of their lifestyle, including maintaining their lavish Montecito estate, add further strain, pushing their financial advisors to consider drastic measures. Sources claim that Meghan is now the primary strategist behind their business dealings. She's restructured their LLCs, parted ways with several of Harry's original advisors, and even initiated new ventures under her name alone.
Do you expect him, as we discussed earlier, to really go back and focus on his strengths?
Yes, and I believe his strengths are leadership, obviously from being in the army and those tours of Afghanistan and the Invictus Games he set up.
The message is clear. She's building a life that doesn't require Harry. And if a divorce does come, Meghan may already have a well-oiled infrastructure in place to support her solo empire. Amid this turmoil, Meghan appears to be seizing control. Observers speculate this power shift isn't merely strategic. It might foreshadow an impending asset battle if a separation materializes. Legal experts predict a potential divorce could trigger a complicated division of assets and business interests, further intensifying public scrutiny and possibly harming their individual reputations.
Thing about her is that when she did her podcast series for Spotify, she didn't even record the interviews properly, she had producers interview the people and then read a script in her own voice of the questions to be edited in after the fact.
So, what exactly happens if Meghan Markle does walk away? Analysts predict a public and complex legal battle, considering their shared children, substantial assets, and intertwined business interests. Meghan's carefully crafted image of empowerment and independence might even be bolstered by a well-managed split, potentially enhancing her public stature rather than harming it. For Harry, however, the future looks profoundly uncertain. Without royal status, without clear public support, and potentially without Meghan, his options seem limited.
I won't want that for Lilibet and Archie either, but moreover to that, I really find that I'm seeing Harry and Meghan much happier professionally working as a separate entity. Look, the beautiful pictures of Harry in Vancouver, the big smile, he's so engaged, and Arthur Edwards, of course, who's followed him around the world as a Sun Royal photographer, made the point that he was really seeing the Harry of old.
Some speculate he might attempt a return to the UK. Others envision a quiet, secluded life in California, distant from the glare of public scrutiny. Royal commentators note that Harry's next moves could significantly impact his legacy, determining whether history remembers him as a rebellious innovator or a cautionary tale. Ultimately, this story isn't simply about a marriage on the rocks. It's about power, control, reinvention, and the often devastating price of rebellion within the royal sphere. Is Meghan Markle genuinely planning her next chapter alone? Or is there still hope for the Sussexes? We want your take. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And hit the subscribe button now to join the Spill Squad and stay in the loop with me.